said it once and I'll say it again. Don't post your husbands online.
I just think it's hilarious sometimes how men are.
Dog food.
Let's just get in here. It won't be that bad.
So I went down the TikTok rabbit hole once again. And there's a phenomenon happening on TikTok that I can't stop watching or thinking about. And it bothers me and millions of other people. And I just want to share it with you. I need you in on this. So if you don't want to hear about other people's drama and get invested in that, you can skip this one. Skip this one. But if you want some fresh, hot, steaming tea and to give me your unsolicited opinions in the comments, come with me, my child. Let us rant. So the topic of today's TikTok trend, if you will, it's kind of a trend at this point, is specifically women posting videos of their partners, in this case, men. And these said men are doing something objectively, verifiably, certifiably unhinged or enraging or borderline abusive sometimes, I'd say. And we're just expected to laugh as a viewer and say, men, am I right? No, Susan, you're married to an incompetent 200-pound toddler. Am I wrong? You know, that's kind of where I'm at. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, TikTok is the place for fun videos, for entertainment. Obviously, I'm on there. Okay, I'm guilty as charged. Okay, and there's lots of TikTok couples out there, some of which post very unrealistic videos and some of which post very realistic videos and expect us to think that that's relatable in some way. But this TikTok toxic couple content cycle goes as such in this specific video, okay? It goes, women post video of partner's bad behavior.
This morning, my husband made coffee and spilled the coffee grounds on the floor, and I don't want him to hear me. Curious how long these coffee grounds will sit here.
Is Messi at the house?
And then the video goes viral. And then the comment section goes ballistic with mostly common sense and concern. And then the poster gets defensive and posts a follow-up video just doubling down.
Those coffee grounds over there.
You got it?
Huh?
You got it? You swept the whole floor, you missed the spot.
I know.
You leaving that for me?
Yeah.
And then comes more backlash. And then you rinse and repeat. And I've just seen it over and over and over again. Was I looking for it at one point after I saw like 10? Maybe. Okay. Maybe I'm the problem. But it's like a perpetual motion machine that runs on red flags and cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? So today we're going to look at some of the most viral examples of this phenomenon and just try to figure out what the hell's going on and how you guys feel about it. I'm so curious. Do you like free candy?
I know I sure do.
And do you like free mobile games?
Golly, I sure do as well with that, too. Candy and games?
And do you like possums?
Absolutely. Duh.
Then you should download our new mobile game that we made, Legend of Zulk. This is Zulk, by the way.
Hi.
He's the main character of the game.
That's me. Free candy.
Step 1, download Legend of Zulk on iPhone or Android. Step 2, go to the main screen of Legend of Zulk and press the Earn Candy button. Step 3, begin the quest, play the game, and earn candy. I'm exhilarated right now. This video is sponsored by Legend of Zulk. So let's start with the one that I'm going to call the lunchbox incident, or weaponized incompetence final boss. Let me know which one you prefer. So this TikToker is a teacher, and in the video, she just forgets her lunch one day. Okay, we all do that. No big deal. And then she asks her husband to bring her food at work. Which, yeah, okay, that's a nice husband thing to do. So she decided to film an unboxing of what he packed. And I'll let you watch.
We have a bag of cookies, not a Ziploc bag. Bag of pretzels feels very empty. We got an apple. We have not just a portion of Pringles, but an entire container. Another bag of cookies. Options. We have my 2-day-old Chipotle. We have a bag of dog food. Because you're my dog, please bring back the dogs are low on food.
So an open bag of Milano's stale cookies. Cool. Half empty. Love that. No Ziploc. Just a crinkled bag. And then Dot's pretzels, like 99% empty. Still in the original packaging. One apple. At least there's fruit, you know. And then a Pringles can, which sounds half empty. And then another bag of cookies, which is also half empty and also like open. And then a 2-day-old Chipotle container, which I hope doesn't have rice in it because, newsflash, you can get botulism from eating leftover rice if it's like over 2 to 3 days. So note that. Caleb told me that, and I was like, I've been eating 4-day-old rice since I was a child. So that's just a fun little fact for you. So watch out for that. Anyway, and then the bag of dog food with the note saying, because you're my dog, please bring back, the dogs are low on food. And you know, looking at all of this, it could be funny. I could see how that's funny. I'm gonna go in with a big old chunky boulder-sized grain of salt here. If I received that, I'd be like, okay, where's the real lunch though? That's funny. Where's the real lunch though? But there's none of that. So she's just kind of left with a lunch that a small toddler child would pack, and a chore on top of that just to go get more dog food because they're low on dog food. Also, he packed that one first. He thought of the joke first, packed that one first before all the other shitty food. But in the video, I mean, you saw she's laughing like the whole time, and she ends it by saying, so ladies, if you don't have food and your husband has to bring your lunch, just know that you're going to get lots of food as well, maybe even a cute note. Personally, and like a majority of the comments, can't relate. Can't relate. My husband would put actual food in there. The apple was okay. Apple was all right. Although I think like the dog food joke, I mean, people are really mad about that. I think it could be funny if they have like a jokey relationship, but it was the follow-up that wasn't that great. And she also wrote in the comments, also, I realized you clearly knew where the Ziploc bags were because you used one for the dog food. So this is where the incompetence is coming in, the weaponized incompetence, because it's like, oh, you put the dog food, you put a lot of thought into giving her the dog food. And then you didn't put any thought into actually packing the lunch. And the original video had like over 30 million views, and it's also pinned. So even though there's like all sorts of backlash, she's raking in that dough, you know? And the comments, as I said, had been mostly turned off or just heavily censored due to the volume. But these are the highlights of the general comments. Why are you assuming everyone's partners are like this? Have you ever heard of weaponized incompetence? Just curious. You're laughing, but this is how he really feels about you, you know? That has 355,000 upvotes, or like hearts. That's why a lot of people feel like that. But that is the majority of the comments. People are like, oh my God, like that is childish and crazy, and you like the incompetence is unreal. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree. If there was the dog food thing, I can kind of put aside, but without the follow-up of actual food, I don't really like it. But some other comments said, very few, but some other comments said, why is everyone taking this so seriously? It is hilarious. They probably have the best marriage ever. I don't think so, Rhonda, but you do you. And then another one said, people don't understand humor and it's sending me. And you know, whatever, that's fine. And that's kind of why I'm talking about this, because I'm curious what you think. But the term that was said throughout this whole comment section was weaponized incompetence. And for those of you who don't know what that means necessarily, from the definition from the Cleveland Clinic, a psychological dynamic where one person avoids or refuses to do a task and uses their incompetence as an excuse. And the 4 signs, according to the Cleveland Clinic, are phrases like, I'm not good at that, or you do this better, and just makes no attempt to improve, or uses the word help for shared responsibilities and shifts blame like, you didn't give me the right instructions, you know, like a toddler or like a little small child does. So basically, it's when your partner suddenly develops a very specific form of amnesia that only affects household tasks. So basically, like, babe, I literally cannot figure out how to fold this towel. It's like my hands just like don't work. I just think you do it better, so I'm gonna go play Xbox with the boys. And also, I'm kind of craving a sandwich, and you make the best sandwiches, so if you're feeling up for it, I would definitely like a sandwich. And if you do, you might get lucky tonight. I'm sorry if I triggered you, by the way. I'm really sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. I triggered myself. Honestly, that's scary. Anyway, so as the pattern follows, she posted a defense explanation video, so let's dive into that.
Y'all are so pressed that he called me a dog. He did not call me a D-O-G, dog, D-O-G, like a dog that has a leash. D-A-W. DWG, dog as in homie, American slang for homie. It's what we call each other. It's a joke, J-O-K-E. This was at the bottom because he thought of it last and he tried to hide it under the Chipotle so that it would be a surprise. Because it was funny. It was a joke. He was trying to make me laugh.
Yeah, all in all, I mean, she's acknowledging that like 30 million people were not on board and saw the red flags within this. And she's more concerned like about the dog food, like it's a D-A-W-G, not D-O-G. It's like that's not what literally like anybody's mad about. It's the fact that he didn't put food in your lunchbox and he put more effort into putting dog food into a bag than actually feeding his wife or whatever. And the internet, I mean, the internet's the internet, and they didn't respond that well to this defense. And people said, if it's a joke, where's the real lunch? And we don't hate you, girl. We're sad for you. And she's going to continue tolerating his quirkiness and see her views increase. What about her needs? And yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I'm curious what you think, though, because the video was framed as funny couple content, but the audience clearly saw something very different than the creator intended, and instead of reconsidering in any way, she just doubled down. And the defense video got just as much, if not more, views. And then she even later posted, I think, a couple videos after that, one of which was them dancing together with the caption, "They probably are talking about us," just leaning into the controversy. And the comments on that one just are so TikTok coded, if not TikTok, kind of Reddit coded. They go on to say, the search being, "Don't save her, she don't want to be saved." Oh, no, that's okay. And trying to cope so bad. My man, all yours. Hell yeah, girl, accept that bare minimum. That has 44,000 upvotes. That's wild. But I mean, they're two adults and they can make their own decisions or whatever. But I'm curious to know if she actually genuinely doesn't see it as a problem, and we are only seeing, a little glimpse into their relationship. Maybe this was just a poorly tasted video. I don't know. Or maybe she knows exactly what reaction she would get if she posted it and just wants the views, the rage bait. I'm leaning into it with me right now, so she got what she wanted if she wants that. But either way, 30 million people saw your husband pack you dog food and a poorly packed lunch, and that's just out there now. But at least in that situation, she wasn't actively asking him to stop, So let's talk about what happens when they do ask and get ignored anyway, because this one is especially triggering. It was for me. I don't know about y'all, but let's get into it. So this creator is on TikTok, obviously, and her platform is built on humor to cope, specifically around infertility and adoption, which I can totally appreciate. I don't love the posting of the kids, though. I'll never be on board with that, so don't love that. But her and her husband recently adopted their daughter. So the important context is that they're new parents and they're exhausted and, it's an emotional journey. So with that, I'm gonna let you watch the video.
She's still asleep. We pulled that driveway and her eyes are still closed. Everybody listen, Cub. No doors are opening. No doors are opening. No barking. We will eat our food in here. I don't care if we're in here for 2 hours or 3 days.
I'm not staying in here for 2 hours, but...
After what she's done to us for 4 days, she's finally asleep. No one's moving. Nobody breathes.
I'll take her.
Everyone sits still.
I will take her if she waits.
I swear. Unbuckle quieter. Let's just eat in here. It won't be that bad.
No.
It'll be like a picnic.
We don't have utensils, and it gives you utensils.
Use your hands. I live here now.
Okay.
What about being happy?
So they're in the car with the baby, and the baby has finally fallen asleep, and she just asks him for a break, and she wants to stay in the car with the baby while she sleeps, because they haven't slept in so long. I'm guessing she hasn't slept specifically in so long. And he just slams the f***ing door. And it took everything in me not to comment on this video, okay? I didn't give in, all right? Well, I guess I'm here making a video about it, so I guess I'm just as bad. She even explains how to close the door softly, and he just doesn't do it anyway, and he just doubles down. And that to me is absolutely an emotionally abusive relationship. I don't care if it's 2 seconds or whatever, 30 seconds of your relationship. That's all I need to see. Personally, I hated watching that, and the comments agree. They say, bring me back when she divorces him. We're all mad at him, right? My feelings would have become felonies. You can clearly tell which one of you has spent the last 374 nights awake with her. You woke her up, I would have crashed out right there. I agree. I agree. What do you think? Because I'm not necessarily a body language expert and I'm not a relationship counselor by any means. I'm just a person with eyes and ears, okay? And what I saw was a woman asking for help and not getting it. In fact, being extremely disrespected. And people agree to the point of them making videos about it.
I just watched a video of a mom begging her husband from the backseat of a car to please, now that the baby is asleep for the first time in 4 days in the car, don't slam the car door. Don't open the car door. She hasn't slept in 4 days. I haven't slept in 4 days. Don't let the dogs bark. What does this man do? He goes, I'm not sitting in the car. Gets out of the car, slams the door, wakes the baby up. Poor woman sitting in the back seat of the car with the baby, and she is crying and begging so she can maybe get some rest and the baby can get some rest. And he slams the door on purpose so he can go into the TV.
And then at that point, after getting all those comments and reading them and everything, she, as a tale as old as time, doubled down with the defense post. And this post was just like a highlight reel, the most unrealistic highlight reel. Like when couples post like, this is how he is all the time. It's like, I don't believe you. Immediately, I don't believe you for some reason. And in this case, especially not. I'm not saying everybody's guilty of that, but this case especially not, because she posted a video with clips of her husband being good or whatever. With the text overlay saying, I was told to divorce my husband this week. And in the caption, she has a long paragraph, which I already think is that's just a sign of not good. But it says, this week I was told to divorce him. Leave him now. He hates you. A video I posted went viral and it landed on the wrong side of the internet. That doesn't exist, by the way. That's just the internet. Welcome to the internet, which isn't fun. I don't approve of people like hating necessarily. But from what I saw, most of the comments are just like concerned or like, you deserve better. I think they're just genuinely disheartened by it. She goes on to say, what was meant to be a lighthearted, relatable parenting moment, if that's relatable, I feel sorry for so many people out there. But most people don't agree, so I don't think it's that relatable. It was completely misinterpreted, she continues. Assumptions were made that couldn't have been further from the truth. Based on a 2-minute video meant to be funny, thousands of comments suddenly appeared about how awful a man my husband supposedly is. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I know a lot of people in the comments are just like it's just everybody's tired at this point. They're like, what are you doing? And it's like, you can't help but think behind the scenes he's like, you need to make this right or something, which that's completely an assumption, by the way. They might have a very happy marriage. This might have been a 2-minute moment in their relationship. But if you're posting it on the internet, people are going to say stuff and they're going to see what they see and say stuff about what they see, and you can't, But anyway, comments say, we're not convinced, but as long as you are, then don't post. Yes, please stay with him, but keep him off the market. A video, who posted? Oh, okay, keep your relationship off socials and you won't hear what you don't want to hear. Then why keep the video up? And yeah, basically. And there were some comments that I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. And those were, you do know intentionally happy videos are fake and not real life. Everyone puts on a good face for the camera. Gen Z still needs to learn the hard lesson that social media isn't real life. And that's not true all the time, I'm sure. But we do need to realize that things that are posted on the internet are meant to be romanticized or to be the best parts of people's lives, which I think everybody realizes. But in this circumstance, she's doing it to make sure you think that, So it's like I'm already immune to it at this point because I saw what he is like when he's not knowing that he's being filmed. You know what I mean? And then another person said, women have got to stop making videos that cast your husband in a bad light, even if you think it's lighthearted. A quick glance at your other videos tells me your husband clearly loves you and your child. He was likely overwhelmed and frustrated in the post that went viral, but it's on you for posting him in that moment. We don't know your husband, and the internet is going to run with whatever narrative that fits into the couple minutes we're shown. Women have to do a better job of protecting their families and not putting their vulnerable moments on the internet for the entire world to dissect. You can't blame TikTok for this one, girly. I completely agree with that, because I have watched some of the other videos, and they could be videos that are romanticized and they're just showing the good moments, but he seems good, but based off that video, I just don't really like him. And I can feel like that, okay? It's me. I'm allowed to feel like that. I don't know this person. But yeah, if you're gonna post stuff on the internet, you have to be willing to be dissected. I have to know that every single day I post something. I'm like, all right, this is out of my hands and I'm fine with what I posted and it is what it is. So you just really need to think about that. Not to mention, I know I always go back to this and I say it to death, but if you're posting your kid online, because that's something this person does as well, it's going to live online forever and your kid is going to get dissected and looked at by strangers. So there are consequences for your actions, So this video was posted as, relatable parenting humor, but the audience just sees it as exhaustion and dismissal. And the defense just reframes it as misinterpretation. And in my opinion, the phrase lighthearted or like relatable moment are doing heavy lifting in this one specifically. But it begs the question, like, if it was supposed to be a funny moment, why are you crying or on the edge of crying? And if it's not a big deal, why did thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people independently have the same concerned reaction? But there's absolutely a chance I'm just reading into it too much and I am just being too harsh. It really does come from just a place of concern. I feel like as women, we just see that and we're just like, you deserve so much better. We don't want that for you. But it could just be it could just be rage bait. I don't know. Could even be fake. That it didn't seem fake to me. But it was a 2-minute video and maybe we're missing some context. Okay, let me know what you think. And that allows me to segue into a situation with more context and somehow it's worse. So this next creator is a woman who is a stay-at-home mom with 3 children. And she went on a work trip for 4 days and left her kids with her husband. And then she returned and she showed the state of her children, which don't love you posting your children, exposing them on the internet, especially in a state that's not that great. But I digress, blurring all that because I'm not contributing to that. But here's the video. So the caption is, I left my husband and kids for 4 days and this is how I came home to them. I love being a stay-at-home mom and I'm so happy my husband works so hard so I can be. Always funny when I leave for a few days and come back to my rugrat kiddos. You mean your neglected children? Okay. Yeah, I'm like tired of this trope where men just get a pass for like being a shitty parent, no matter what situation is going on. Because their hair's unwashed, unbrushed. It's still in the same hairstyle from 4 days ago, which means she probably is knotted and matted. Not to mention the hygiene. The kids hadn't been bathed and their faces had food and dirt smudged on them. And their clothing was not weather appropriate at all. So then there's safety concerns as well. And she's just brushing it off like, haha, men, am I right? No. You're not. It's really bad, actually. And naturally, the internet's reaction was even more severe than mine. If it were a babysitter, they'd be fired. Good thing it's just their actual parent. 73,000 upvotes. My legally blind father does more for my siblings than this. So they were neglected. 289,000 upvotes. Another one, she's defending him in the comments, wrap it up, everyone. And that just kind of is the tone of all of this whole video, basically. It's like, why do we even bother? And with this one especially, because she really doubles down and she like tries to show her husband like actually doing something around the house, which I'm sure she like said, do something around the house so these people understand that, you're not actually like this when you are, I don't know.
Hey guys, today I'm in my robe on the couch, probably gonna take a nap because it's not a good day today. But my husband is fixing the ice machine because it broke. So just ignore breakfast mess, okay? He's a smart man.
But this is weaponized incompetence on full display, in my opinion. And there's actually a comment that said that verbatim. And people pointed out that this isn't a funny dad moment, this is neglect and the different standards for dads versus moms. Because when mom leaves, have fun and relax. And when dad is in charge, wow, you survived. Funny how messy things got. It's just, the double standard's crazy.
My husband didn't do while I was gone. Oh no. I left for 4 days on a trip and my husband didn't even do my daughter's hair. Her hair was in the same thing that I did myself. And my son was in clothes too small for him that weren't even his. And his face was so messy. He didn't even wipe his face.
And another comment that I read said some people accuse this of being a strategy for views, but at what cost? And again, like, I agree. It's like, why are we putting videos up of our children and our shitty husbands to get views? I guess it's to get views and to get money, but you know, like, at what cost? It's going to live on the internet. People are around the world are going to hate your husband. You know, God forbid it's in your town and they know your husband, and maybe that's not actually how he is. Maybe it was just a show that was put on, but like, what? And you know, like, CPS could show up at this point. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? And then, of course, there's the defense video.
Okay, I really want to address this. There's a lot of people saying that, like, he neglects my kids and horrible, this is a red flag, you need to leave him. I'm going to stop that right now, and I wasn't going to do this, but I'm actually going to tell you last week was a really, really hard week for my husband and I. On November 6th, it was exactly 1 year since his 15-year-old brother died in a house fire. I was really worried about him. I told him, just let the kids run free. Don't worry about getting them ready for the day or having to do an activity with them or whatever. And he said, I'm not going to do that. So he actually went bowling with his dad to kind of celebrate his brother, because his brother wouldn't want him to just, you know, mourn.
So her trip did coincide with the anniversary of her husband's brother's death. I have empathy for that. The week was emotionally charged for him, and he was grieving for sure. And she claims that the kids were well taken care of. No, they weren't, okay? Because regardless of grieving, you still need to take care and do basic needs for a child, you know? And a comment said, I'm so sorry for your loss, truly, but in the kindest way possible, this seems like damage control. I also went through a very traumatic experience last year, and my children were still well taken care of in all aspects. There's just really no excuse. Because grief is real and absolutely valid, and children still need basic care. And these two things can be true at once. And also, the original post wasn't, I'm concerned about my husband, we're going through a hard time. She posted, lol, classic dad behavior. And the word funny appears in her original caption. So it's just like, it does feel like damage control. Like I do have empathy, obviously, for the anniversary of the death, but it's just like, I see through you. You are a window right now. What? So, I mean, she expected people to laugh, and maybe it's rage bait again. Maybe she just wanted views, but people expressed concern because they're human and they have empathy for the children. And a response was confusion that people don't agree with her. And multiple other TikTokers suggested that it might be rage bait, like intentional controversy for views. But if so, again, you're using your children's visible neglect for engagement. And if not, you genuinely thought this was cute content to share? I don't personally get it. Let me know what you guys think though. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't get the joke personally. But my rule of thumb is if CPS could use your TikTok video as evidence, maybe don't post it with a laughing emoji, you know? And then even a couple weeks later, she posted another video with her kids, which I don't like, because she's using them for content and exploiting them again.
Is it permanent? It is semi-permanent. So for like a month, it'll last depending on how many washes you do. And that was for my 4-year-old daughter. That's fun. And then my 3-year-old son and my 1-year-old baby, it was just like chalk stuff that like one wash and it comes out, which is not true because they had a bath and there's still some pink in there, but I'm sure with the next bath, it'll come out.
And a babysitter dyed their kid's hair, and she like shows the texts with the babysitter. And then she says to the audience that she doesn't actually know who the babysitter was, like completely rage baiting the audience. So now we know that she is an absolute rage baiter. And she shows the kids with their hair dyed pink, and she looks concerned in the video. But then in the follow-up video, she seems fine with it, but she says she still doesn't know who the babysitter was. And then she posts another video saying it was her sister. So we're like, why didn't you just say that? And it's just so obvious that she's just baiting people for views and exploiting your children for views. And the comments agree. The comments under the last video of her saying that it was it was her teenage sister all along that was babysitting. It's the people said, okay, right, this is fraudulent. I knew it had to be family to some degree. You were far too relaxed about it. Lol. Views. Just be clear from the beginning. Lol. And then she answered that comment and said, that's how I make money for my family. So you just rage baited everyone. So she admitted to rage baiting people to make money for her family. It's just, great mom, exploiting your children and making your husband look bad when he seems like he probably is bad to make money. Are morals underground? Morals are underground for some people, I think. Makes me sad. Let me know what you think, though. I'm going to move on to the next one. And next up, we have the laundry tantrum, where a wife filmed a husband upset about laundry, and his complaint was she didn't do his laundry right, but he says it in a very childish, stomping around the house kind of sing-songy way, which, can be fine and funny or whatever, but it's, I don't like it. Roll the clip.
In the dryer pile. No people doing my laundry right. No people doing my laundry right. Why is my shirt in the dryer?
So yeah, it's basically just a grown man stomping around a bedroom, literally stomping like a child, singing a made-up song in a sing-songy voice. And I need you to understand that this is not a parody. This is a fully grown adult man upset that his wife, who did his laundry for him, put one shirt in the wrong pile. So he's just a stomping, singing red flag. And the comments didn't like this one, saying, as several comments have said, if you're not leaving him, we don't care. I'm filing for divorce and I'm not even married to him. He wasn't joking. There's no situation in the multiverse that would have my partner stomping around like a little baked bean. I don't care what the context is, no way in hell. She said in the OG caption too that he literally woke her up doing that. Lol, so funny. I think that's sarcasm, by the way. If I woke up to that, like I got woken up, like it's not a joke at that point. He actually was making a fuss like a little toddler. That's crazy. But that video did actually, for once right now, got deleted. It did get deleted, but it was too late because people already saw it, And once something's on the internet, it's gonna stay on the internet. Let's all say that in unison. And then it's just a rinse and repeat scenario of defending and all this stuff. It's all rinse and repeating again. Which brings me to the last and the worst one, in my opinion. So this TikToker posted a video to her followers and said that she hadn't spoken to her husband in 2 weeks. Okay, it's like, okay, maybe he was away. Maybe he was doing something. No, they were in the same house. He also blocked her on social media. Why, you ask? Because she wasn't feeling well. One day she was feeling sick and told her husband to leave her alone because she wanted some space while she was feeling sick. And instead of, giving her a few hours, giving her the benefit of the doubt, he yelled at her for asking to be left alone and then decided to stop speaking to her entirely for 2 weeks and blocked her on social media while being in the same home. Roll the clip.
I haven't spoken to my husband in 2 weeks. So on Halloween, I went to work. I did not eat. I had patience. I worked 8 hours. The kids wanted to go trick-or-treating, so my husband and I went to his sister's house. I stayed in the car because I wasn't feeling well. I felt nauseous. I just really wasn't feeling well. We stayed for a little while. They got back in the car. He asked me, am I okay? I said, no, I'm not feeling well. I'm nauseous. I did not eat. He said, okay, we're going to get something to eat. I said, I think we should get cereal right now because that's the fastest thing. I don't want no fast food. We got the cereal. We came home. I was eating cereal. It still wasn't feeling well, so I came upstairs. He followed me upstairs and he said, do you want me to leave you alone? And I said, yeah, leave me alone because I'm not feeling well. And this man said, you told your husband to leave you alone? You should never tell your husband. Excuse me? I am not feeling well. I want you to leave me alone. He said, okay, I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to leave you alone. For that night, I slept on the couch because I'm not fighting and arguing with you. I still don't feel well. Cool beans.
So she ask being the key word, her followers if she was in the wrong because she seemed genuinely torn up about what to do. But honey, he blocked you while he was in the same house as you. His wife that he lives with every single day, that he sees every day, and that you were sleeping next to. And then you think you think that he's not the problem. He's the problem. He's the asshole in this story, okay? And the comments went wild with this one. Stonewalling in any relationship isn't even a red flag. It's a siren. The silent treatment is a form of abandonment, emotional manipulation, and punishment. I agree. That has 37,000 upvotes. Locking the bedroom door is unacceptable because he locked the bedroom door, by the way. I'm telling you right now, that's a guilty man that was looking for a way to make you the villain. 155,000 upvotes. I kind of agree. He's like looking for a way. It feels like looking for a way out. I'm probably reading too much into it, but what do I know? He prob got a man, lol. The comments never disappoint, I tell you what. But her follow-up videos were what was so concerning, because I genuinely think that's horrible. That is absolutely a textbook definition of emotional abuse. Like, that's a crazy thing to do to your partner. But in this case, I just feel bad, because in the defense videos, she's very aware that this behavior is terrible, but she treats him like a child and being like, I need to be the one to stand my ground finally and not be the one to break the ice. And it's like, oh my, you don't need to deal with that. You don't need to deal with that. Roll the clip.
But please, you don't know me to tell me what I should and should not do. This is my page. You can scroll. Scroll. Because I could say whatever the hell I want on my page.
And he actually posted a response video to TikTok with the key quote being, "My wife was right." For all you husbands, boyfriends, and significant others, your wife is right too. Take that bit of advice with you. I know you guys want to hear my side of the story, and some of you want to hear me throw my wife under the bus. So, he did admit she was right. He didn't throw her under the bus, and he gave other men advice. So I guess we have like one inkling of like growth here, maybe. Or maybe it was damage control. Like, what? Just don't air your shit out on the internet. I feel like people just, I keep saying the same thing over and over. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're totally fine with the very negative comments, because people love commenting negative comments on TikTok. Tell you what. Because at the end of the day, she asked the internet for some sort of validation and for advice, and she got it, overwhelmingly so, and she also got to see other people's reactions to behaviors she normalized, and she got upset when people responded. So it's like, man, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3. So we've seen plenty of examples. There's so many more. A lot of honorable mentions. There was a guy who left coffee grounds on the floor for 2 days and then got called out about it. And he just said to the wife,
"You got it?
Huh?
You got it."
What? But then she came back on the internet and said, like, it's a joke, guys. It's just a joke. Okay. All right, Sadie, whatever.
But all you negative people that are leaving the negative comments, we're not going to feed into that, because we were happily married. We love each other. And she doesn't hate me.
It was all a joke.
It was a big joke. We were just making content. We were just having fun with it. We're trying to make relatable content.
We've been together for 15 years, and
she loves me.
I love him.
So we love each other.
And then we have a woman saying her boyfriend or husband or whoever didn't think to get her a Christmas present until like 3 or 2 days before Christmas. And then she doubles down and she's like, guys, it's not that serious. It's not that. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny. No, it's not. It's not funny, Jessica. These aren't real names, by the way. So yeah, there's plenty of examples of this on the internet. So it begs the question, why do people post this? And more importantly, why do they defend it after they post it?
You need to understand something. When you see the videos of the women with the really shitty partners and they post the videos and then they get mad at the comments, right? And they defend the man and they're like, you don't even know my relationship. You don't even know him. Why are you saying all these things? What you don't understand about them is there's a cultural difference between that woman and you. That woman comes from a culture where they complain about the men, and then all of the other girls, all the other ladies are like, ha ha, yeah, like, aren't they so stupid and annoying and gross? Ha 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 ha. And that's it.
When you're in a bad marriage, you will go to great lengths to cover it up and hide the worst parts of your partner from the public.
So I have my theories. I have my theories as to why people do this, and I think it has to be one of these in all these scenarios. First one being just cognitive dissonance, which for those of you who don't know is the discomfort of holding two conflicting beliefs, like my partner is a good person versus my partner just did something bad. And the resolution is reframe the bad thing as not actually bad. Like, it's just a joke. You don't understand our humor, You need context, because it's easier to convince yourself that 30 million people are wrong than to consider that you might be in a bad situation. And theory 2 is the sunk cost fallacy, okay? Like, I've invested X amount of years in this relationship, so I can't just give it up, where admitting that the behavior is bad equals admitting you've been accepting bad behavior. So it's like bad if you accept it, so that's why you get defensive. Because that's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you are in an emotionally relationship. It's hard to even see that. so it's easier to defend than it is to reconsider. And theory 3 is that it's just not that deep and it's just content, which is the most cynical view for sure, but I feel like it is prominent in these types of videos, and that they're doing what they're doing for content and views and money and engagement or whatever. Controversy equals engagement equals monetization, you know? Because the original video goes viral, the defense video goes more viral, it's just a content strategy. And then there's theory 4, which is audience mismatch. And that's just that people post expecting their existing followers to relate. They're just posting relatable content. And the video then hits the broader internet, and their followers are like,
I don't get it. This seems horrible. And your husband is a walking red flag. I don't understand. You need to divorce him.
And it's literally just a mismatch in algorithm, I guess, or it's just a wake-up call, if you will. And the last theory, theory 5, is normalization. They genuinely don't see it as bad because they've been surrounded by similar relationships and their friends laugh at this stuff. And this is just how relationships are, not how they should be, but just how they are. And that's just a whole other thing. That's just sad. And yeah, it's got to be hard to see in the moment if they're not doing it for clout or for, exploitation and all that. It's just kind of like, most of these comments, these negative comments, are just concerned because of that specific thing. It's just like, no, honey, that's not normal. You deserve better. But in every single case, the woman controls the narrative. She filmed, she posted, and she framed. And then the woman's surprised by the reaction. And the defense includes some version of, you don't understand. The behavior is reframed as normal or funny or relatable or lighthearted, but it's just not. And I want to be so clear when I say I'm not shaming these women necessarily. I have my own feelings about, posting children and rage baiting and all that. I don't think that's right, but I also don't know what scenario or what these women's lives are actually like. It's the same as the men. I don't know exactly. We're seeing them for 2 minutes, This is just supposed to be commentary on, I genuinely just want to know what you guys think because I've been rage baited, I've been pulled in. I have got the hook. It's on me and I'm coming in to be eaten at the campfire. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everyone has a camera, everyone has an audience, and relationship moments that used to be private can now just be content, so it's hard to decipher what's what. And it seems controversial content gets pushed. And the more people that argue in the comments, the more the video spreads. And honestly, I feel like I have to log off more and more now because that's all I see. And yeah, it's probably because I go digging for it sometimes late at night when I can't sleep. Okay? So that's probably on me. But I don't know. I find that the negativity is spread so much, I can't watch it anymore. So much so that I'm making a bloody video about it, which maybe I'm just adding to the chaos. But at the same time, I'm just kind of, we're just kind of talking about it. And I think it's good to talk about. It's good to be aware of these things. And it's recognizable enough to be parodied, It's become a trope at this point. We all know what husband does bare minimum and wife films it content looks like.
So the entire internet is pissed off because my husband wasn't at the hospital when I gave birth to our daughter. If you guys did your research, you would know that this is our second child and he was at the birth of our daughter. He doesn't need to be attached to my hip 24/7.
But again, full disclaimers, we don't know these people's full relationships. A 2-minute video isn't a complete picture, and I'm not telling anyone to leave their partner, and I'm not telling anyone to go and spread the negativity. Please don't do that, okay? But if you post the video and you frame it as content, you can't be surprised when people have opinions because you showed us the evidence and we're just the jury, honey. You called us, all right? You called us on speed dial. You know what that is? You're probably too young. But that's just the deal when you post. And as a content creator, you don't get to curate the reaction of 30 million people. I'm sure some people won't like this video, and I just have to be okay with that. And I'm fine with it. It's whatever. People are allowed to interpret something the way they want. That's just how life works, But in hindsight, I made this video so people watching this and maybe in these situations can be like, a lot of people are concerned about this. Maybe I should think about that, Instead of, you don't understand my husband's humor. It's like, maybe there are red flags there I'm not seeing. But maybe the real takeaway is that some things should maybe just stay off the internet. Basically, not everything needs to be content. And if you do post it, don't be surprised when people believe what you showed them. But again, now I've just made a video about other people's videos about relationships, so maybe I'm not the one to talk. You know, subscribe for more content about content. Okay, hit that subscribe. No, but for real, I think this is good to talk about because it just brings us back to earth. You know, at least it does for me. And this channel is completely self-serving for me. I just post what I want, and I kind of talk through it. This was kind of a therapy session for me, honestly. Hopefully it was for you a little bit too. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff in the comments. I'm very curious. But yeah, I hope everyone in these videos that I just showed is okay, genuinely, and I hope everybody at home is okay too. I really appreciate that you're here. But I also hope that if anyone watching this recognize their own situation in any of these stories, you know that you deserve better. Because you do. Because you're very important and you're beautiful and I love you. Okay? And I appreciate you. And I just want you to be good and to be safe. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it though. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.